Yeah! Friends, enemies, and those still under review, welcome back. This is Jack. And I am very fortunate today to be able to work with the woman, the myth, the legend, Synthetika Lynn.
Right.
Now, I do want to answer something I brought up myself earlier. If anybody is ever wondering why I usually talk about female bodybuilders, is I feel that female bodybuilders have to go through a lot more. Not only are they fighting, I'm going to say genetics and hormones a lot more, they're fighting societal pressure a lot more. And that makes it my things I'm fighting, my mental health and all that stuff, feel a lot more trivial. So it helps me push through. Not to mention, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd much rather look at a picture of a woman than a picture of a guy. If I'm being brutally honest. I'm a cis white guy. I'm going to be honest.
But yeah, no, you're right about the that there is a little bit, there's more of a societal pressure on, because we're expected to be, small and dainty and, this and that and yada, 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 whatever. But I've never, ever since I was a child, I never wanted to be that way. So
if the punk aesthetic didn't give it away.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, like ever since I was just like itty bitty little, I was like, that's what I want to be like when I grow up. So, and
you were a tomboy growing up, I'm guessing.
Yes, I was very much a tomboy when I was growing up.
My older sibling is actually looking at getting into, they say they want to get cut, and then as they've been seeing some of the people I follow, because I share pictures of like progress pictures and stuff like that, they've slowly moved to the idea of, no, I kind of do want to put on real muscle. They're AFAB. Yeah, that's the right one for it. So they have to deal with a lot of the same things you do. So I'm going to rewind back for a second because I just remembered I did want to bring this up. When you were talking about your depression spell, you may have saw me smile a couple times. That's not directed at you dealing with the depression stuff. I literally went through the same thing, almost verbatim, except for mine was for a year, and then my repair process that didn't even start until 2019. That's why I go by Jack. I technically have a dead name I don't use except for my legal reasons, and my dad calls me it, and he's allowed to. So 1,000,000%, I get it. I understand you. So that's why I was smiling, because it's always nice when you hear somebody who had a similar experience and found their way out, because you have to fight that motherfucking programming. And yes, I don't care about cursing, so turn loose if you need to. If it was an issue, I would edit it out.
Sometimes I cuss like a sailor, so.
I was a sailor. Go for it. It's my second language.
Okay, awesome. But no, yeah, it's always really nice to connect with other people that have gone through the same or very similar things, just to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so brutally honest with it on this channel. Like when I'm streaming, I will bring it up. I will talk about it on the dime. If someone is having a bad day, a lot of streamers will be like, no, like, why would I want to talk about you having a bad day? And I'm like, no, what's going on? Let's talk about it. I have no hesitation. I'll talk about literally anything, because some people just need to get it out of their head, because I needed that at one point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We all need support, and I think we would all be, I guess, healthier inside if everyone had support. And not everybody does, and that's really sad. So when you get that support, it's, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I mean, it
fills a hole in your heart. Like you didn't even know it was missing until you had that love and support. You actually feel that love and support. And then you're like, it's the best way to describe it, if you don't know what I'm talking about. If you wear glasses, that feeling when you put on glasses for the first time, when you're like, oh my God, the world's in HD.
Yeah.
That's the closest feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah.
And probably the only other example I could think of, you don't think you're hungry, then you eat something, you're like, oh my God, I'm hungry. That's probably the other example.
Yeah.
I'm a fat guy, so we're gonna bring up food every time. Even if I was like 10% body fat, I'm still a fat guy. Not because I'm like self-hating fat. I want to eat that whole pizza right now.
Food's good.
Oh yeah, food's great. It's moderation is the answer, by the way. Now, going back to the societal pressure side, how do you deal with it? Because you're active on Twitter. I refuse to call it anything else. You're really active on it, and you're also pretty active on Blue Sky. So you have to deal with, I'm going to say asshats, who are like, oh, you'll never be a real man, or I could still beat you up in a fight. Like, you don't get it as bad as some of the other followers people we both follow, but you still have to deal with it regardless. And no, going cyberpunk on them and ripping them apart doesn't count.
So what's really funny is that I actually don't get that very often. Okay. I don't.
I've seen you get it a couple times, but you don't get it as much, once again, as like She Rage or Kitty Bit Games doesn't seem to get it as much. Sorry, I am name dropping these people because they are people I respect, and so.
Honestly, I think the reason why some of them get it a lot is because they give it attention.
That's valid.
And they let people know. It's like when you're saying, oh, this really bothers me, then you're going to have these asshats going, ooh, this bothers her. I'm going to...
Yeah, trolls live under bridges in the internet. You're fine.
Yeah, so I have had it, but I rarely do because I don't bring attention to it at all. And I'm not saying don't ever bring attention to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to, you want to defend yourself, when somebody's being a dickhead. So I feel that, you want to speak out, but I feel like some of them that get it so much, it's like they're always talking about it. And then it brings in the flock of assholes.
Yeah.
And I just refuse to give them any attention. And when I haven't given them any attention, they fuck off. So, yeah.
My personal policy, like on things like that, my things I get attacked for are completely different. 75% of the time, I would ignore it. The exception being if, say, someone was following me and they posted progress pics. If I was in your situation, my things would be different. And then they got attacked for it. I'm like, okay, now I got to put the foot down. I'm not accepting that. You can attack me all day. I don't care. There is nothing you can say that I haven't said to myself 10 times worse. So, right, but you attack somebody who needs it, somebody else, I will come to their defense in a motherfucking heartbeat. So, that's my policy.
I have seen, I've tried to defend other women that, get fucking stupid ass comments and because, I'm trying to give support, but sometimes when I see it, like, it's not because I don't want to support. I get stressed easily, and other people's negative emotions.
You're an empath. You're an empath.
Them. Yes. So sometimes when I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to interact with it because I'm probably gonna have a physical meltdown because this piece of shit's gonna piss me off so bad, and I'm like, ugh.
And that's perfectly valid way to handle it. Like, you handle it the way you want to. Like, perfectly valid.
Yeah.
Once again, prior sailor, I'm going to shit talk. So like, it's a mixed bag. And like, I've got my go-to lines. I love to mess with people. If I think someone's not engaging me within good faith, I'm like, how's the weather underneath that bridge? Because trolls live under a bridge. And the other one is if they start moving the goalpost, I'm like, don't hurt your back moving that goalpost now. Like, I have my canned line set up, but that's a whole nother thing. But no, like, I do deeply respect that that you do still persevere, even though you don't get it as bad as everybody else. I still respect the ever-loving hell out of that. And I have noticed that as a society and a culture, it's becoming a lot more accepted. It's still moving slowly, but it's getting a lot more accepted.
It is.
Yeah!